Hello and welcome back to the colony with Man of the Antz back in Dirt Rally 2.0 today for our continuing improvement score to try and get me better at just racing games, particularly racing games, rally games with a steering wheel. Obviously, Professor Kapil is leading the way with his weekly lessons. Last week he sent us to Argentina for the first time, where he said I fared pretty well for my first ever time. Today we're going to go back to a course we've actually done before. We're going to go back to the Descenso por Carreta in Spain, but there is a challenge this week and he is referring to it as the God Arm technique. Don't like the sound of that much. So we're going to be using the Opel Cadet C/GTE, racing in the daytime and in the sunshine, which is nice. But he would like me to steer with my right hand only and use my left hand to do the gear stick and stay on the gear stick for the duration of the race. So my objective is to beat or not beat my previous best, but to come as close as possible without crashing or using both hands on the steering wheel. So I don't have a face cam during my daily vids, only during my stream, so you're going to have to take my word for it that I'm not putting my hands on the wheel, but I'd like to think I'm a quite trustworthy person. I'll leave you to make your own judgments there, I guess. So we're going to be going to Spain, doing the, where are we? Descenso por Carretera, daytime, clear, dry surface, yes please. And we are looking for, so let's go back to the very beginning. I forgot what it was, Opel something. Opel Cadet C GT/E. That sounds about right. In fact, I've just realised Kapil's been putting some numbers after the car names in the comments, and I thought they were like model numbers or years of the cars or something like that. I've just realised it's actually the number of the car in the list to help me find it a bit easier, and I've completely ignored it. So thank you for that, Professor Kapil. Much appreciated. He has also started signing off the comments as Professor Kapil, which I very much enjoy. So what we're going to go with, I do generally like the greens. Oh, I quite like that actually. Let's go with that. So right hand only, left stick on the gearing wheel. Usual format, we'll have a kind of a test run, which should be relatively successful seeing as I know the course. I think we've been here a couple of times now, haven't we? I think I know which, but this is one which goes through the town quite early and has that right with the cliff on the left with the bump in it, isn't it? If I recall. Who knows, though? Maybe I'm well off the bat. So wait for the VR to kick in. Here we are. That's not right. That's not right. Let's, oh no, why am I facing... Why is it slightly to the side? Why is... So I'm facing perfectly forward at the moment where I'm sat, and even recentering doesn't do it. So where do I need to go? Do I need to look over here? No, other way. No, too far. Too far. Just a little bit. There we go. So I need to look slightly to the right and then recenter so that I'm actually in the right place. Still wouldn't say that's quite right. Oh my word, this is awkward, isn't it? If I go back a little bit. No idea why it's doing this. Is that no, a little bit more? There we go. Right, let's just hope we don't hit the recenter option by accident then. We're a little bit to the left, but that'll do.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So we'll start it in first. Well, first is the way to go with this car.
3 right opens, 6 long, into 1 left long.
Yeah, this is the course I was thinking of. So then there's this,
Into 3 right.
oh, maybe a little bit slow there, down into second.
50.
I don't have the steering wheel on full feedback.
4 right.
So it's not like it's going to wrench my arm off, but nonetheless, when I have had courses previously,
Right long.
hello tree,
Into 5 left, extra long.
and curb, when I've had courses previously which demand a lot of gear change, I do find that my right arm does start to ache a little bit.
Opens 30.
So it'll be interesting to see
Right tightens.
when I am forced, and this is that little bump I was on about, see there it is and it kicks you into that wall.
5 left.
Interesting to see how this is going to go. I did take my hand off this gear stick then, but only to itch my nose, so I hope that's
Into cut.
acceptable.
Left long. Opens 100.
And what I didn't do and didn't read out was the time I set previously, so I'll have to have a little bit of a look at that. I don't think there's a 6th gear. No, there isn't. Oh, there's a 2. There's a 2. I was listening. So if I hadn't done that, this might actually be a fairly good run.
Right, extra long of a crest.
Gets a good idea of what time we could sort of look for in this car, but
6 left
obviously messed up a little bit, but that's fine. We'll continue on
into 6 right.
just to give me an idea of the course and more of the car and how the car handles on the course.
3 right long, tightens 2.
So I'd like to think I have a fairly good handle on this course at this point. Oh my word.
Left, 30. 2 right long, opens of a crest, 30. 4 left.
This is the third time we've done it now.
Into 3 left.
And I'd say so far it doesn't feel too bad,
30.
only using our right hand to steer.
2 right long.
The problem's going to come after I've done it a few times and the fatigue starts setting in.
Right long, opens.
And even when you're driving just around town, if you suddenly find that you've been gripping the steering wheel hard, you do find that your hand just hurts just driving around town.
3 left tightens.
So having to grip this steering wheel and having to grip this steering wheel hard, because it will kick itself all over the place otherwise, is a little bit more awkward. Wasn't listening to him.
1 right.
Wasn't listening in the slightest. So these are the ones at the very end. They're all very tight, and there's the finish.
Into 2 left.
So 2:45 we got there. Now what was the time he said we set last time? 2:35.524. Now bearing in mind we had that crash and stalled, I would like to think that 2:35 is within the realms of possibility. Maybe. I'm going to have just 1 or 2 runs off camera. I don't think we're going to need to do too many. So it's just more about getting used to the car and trying to get used to driving one-armed more than anything. And then we'll come back and we'll have a proper go. And we'll go into a rally mode as well and see how we do then.
Into 1 left long.
Nope.
2 left long.
Nope.
Right
Oh, why did it
tightens.
reset?
Into 2 left long. Into 3 right. 4 left.
Okay, so I've only actually done 1 more complete run. My hand is already starting to ache, but I wanted to show you the time again, similar to how we did last time out, because I did have 1 fairly major mistake in there where I didn't have quite stall, but the car essentially did stop dead. But the first half of the run was just so nice, and I was absolutely flying, and I felt really good. I felt I did the first half, of course, better than I've done in any other previous attempt in any other car with 2 hands on the steering wheel. So 2:38 is what we managed there. Was still a bit of a major mistake in it. So I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to do much more practicing. I only did 1 attempt prior to this where I crashed and had to start again. So I've only had 2 attempts. 1 attempt I crashed and the other attempt went okay. So not a great track record, I guess. Track record, get it? So we'll see how we go doing it properly. So we shouldn't have to go too far up. There's the Opel Kadett. Let's go in and make this the proper track. Descenso Palcaretta. Daytime clear. Perfect. Confirm. Start championship. Where's our... I almost hit the wrong one because it's a similar colour. That's the one we want. And so our target then is... Well, if we can do it without making a major mistake, even if we're a little slower around the beginning than I was previously. And it's a shame you're not going to see that. Because honestly, I was so happy with how it went. I am going to roll my sleeves up because this is big leagues time now. I'm also going to check just to make sure, yeah, my vocal audio is recording. I tend to check every time I record, but sometimes you don't. And it seems the times you don't, that's the times it doesn't work. So we should be, I was going to hold the handbrake down straight away, but I'm going to wait until it starts to make sure it is actually
6 left, 30.
pointing in the right direction. I always forget until I see it that I'm a number 46. Forget every time. Right, we good? Yeah, I'll do.
5, 4, 3.
So first gear is not a second gear starting car.
56 left, 30.
We should be able to get up
3 right.
to
6 long.
4th,
1 left long.
around there. And then we have this corner, so we will drop it down into second, give a little bit of brake. That is much slower than I did on my lovely attempt previously, which is always frustrating.
2 left long.
We'll go up to third very briefly just to go down again and miss the gear, and we're going to go down, and that's going to spin us out of control. Wonderful. Okay. A little tap on the brake, but we'll leave it in fifth. And unfortunately, we clipped the outside, or clipped the inside, sorry, which brought us in. Okie dokie. Combine to get around that corner. We'll leave it in second around there, and don't hit that outside. Oh my word. To get around here, hit that pole into that tree. Perfect. Nope. There is this 2 right coming up, so we'll heavily brake. We'll miss third gear, and then we'll go into third gear way too late, and we'll take it off the track, which is a shame because that run was going really nicely. Darn. Out of control, but managed to contain it. Go down into a very sloppy second. Don't say that phrase.
2 left long.
What's wrong with you, you idiot? So one thing I just noticed there
56.
is that it said the class leader is only currently 238. Now we've managed to do about 238, 239, didn't we? So we should, in theory, if we can avoid any major mistakes,
50. 2 left long.
end up at the very least beating that time. I'm going to carry on with that. I'm going to carry on. That's such a recoverable crash
5 left.
that I'm okay with it. We have missed a little bit of time there as well by missing the gear change up. Waiting a little bit too long. Oh, it's that corner there.
60.
It's not a very heavy corner.
Opens 30.
Because the car's trying to pull away so much, it's actually quite tough on the old hand.
50.
The one hand that's on the steering wheel.
150.
So got around there. Okay, that's not too bad. We are behind the class leader.
Into 6 right. Into
Little touch of brake there to try and avoid that outside fence.
100.
That wasn't too bad. We've actually caught up with the class leader a little bit there.
6 left of
Made a bit of time on him, which was nice.
into 2 left long.
So we'll try and brake enough for that corner.
Left.
I mean, that could have gone better, but we're
6 right. Extra long.
definitely the class leader peeled away on us a little bit there, but
6
significantly better than some of our previous attempts where we've just gone flying off the edge of the track or span out completely.
into 4 left long. Into caution. 3 right long. Tightens 2.
So that's not ideal,
100.
but we're still going. I thought I heard some
Left.
rattle in the back, which might indicate a puncture there,
Long. Opens of a crest.
but we seem to be okay still.
4 left.
Probably shouldn't have changed down at that exact moment. That was very bad on my part.
Left. Opens 6.
Might as well leave it in third, actually, because we're going to have to go a bit slower around here. So we've lost a little bit of time on the... Oh, we haven't. No, we're ahead of the class leader. I was going to say we've lost a little bit of time on him.
Into 6 left.
But actually, no, we're ahead of him.
Into 3 right.
I just assumed that we would be the ones who were lagging behind.
Extra long. Tightens 4. Keep right over 50. 3 left.
So we're actually in the last little bit now.
Into 4 right.
So we're going to mess the gears up.
1 left long.
But actually that wall's going to save us a little bit. Thank you, wall. So we should be, I think, relatively close. Oh no, 230,
Into 1 right over finish.
240.
2 left. Into 3 right to stop.
So we're not going to stop by the marshal, but I don't really care too much. I don't really know how we're going to get this to the marshal. Oh, there we go.
Finished. Well,
Hopefully that won't add anything. 240 we done. How are we happy with 240? We're in 7th. What's top? 236. How are we doing? I might have a few more attempts, you know. I'm probably not going to show you many of the attempts. I'll only show you if I have any particular failures. But I just want to see if I can get it, because I could definitely do better there. So if I can get a better time, I'll cut you in towards the end of my attempt.
3.
And we'll see how it goes. So we're at the end of the course now. I think this has gone pretty well.
Into 1 right.
And if we can get around here without too many mistakes, like that.
1 right over finish. Into 2
Oh,
left.
not that much faster at all. Actually, only a 237. I thought that was going to be a lot better than that, to be honest with you. Oh. So let's get it to the Marshall and see... oh, is it going to just take us there anywhere?
Tough, but it felt fast.
Yeah, so it's faster than we did before. It felt pretty... There's a couple of little mistakes, but nothing major. We ended up second saying that, though. Where were we before? We were 7th, were we? So we got a 2.4. Oh, so we did, I thought I had a 2.38, but I must be thinking of previous. So yeah, going from 7th to 2nd then, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Wasn't too bad, to be honest, using one up. My arm is aching a little bit. I think the fact that it was a known course, a known entity, I think really helped. Because I wasn't just struggling to learn a course. It wasn't like if it was Argentina and I was trying to do one-handed, I think would have really struggled. I suppose the question is a one-handed driving the suggested technique? Is that why Professor Kapil suggested it? So if you could let me know down below, Kapil, is that how I'm supposed to be racing? Am I supposed to be beefing up my right arm, ready to take on some more challenging things? Because I think it could be quite awkward. In a faster car where you're coming into corners much faster and trying to deal with the oversteer a lot more and the drifting a lot more, it could get really tough, really, really tough. So there we go. I don't think I did too badly there. My arm, as I say, there's definitely a bit of an ache in the muscle down at the bottom of my hand, down towards my little finger. There's a definite bit of ache there. Wouldn't like to try and do that for a few hours, that's for sure. We've only actually been going for... So I'll say 29 minutes. Apparently I've only been recording for 29 minutes, so it's actually half as long as I normally record for. With a newer track, it takes a while to get used to it, and yeah. As you can see by the number of crashes in the little center montage usually, it takes me a while to get these things in my head sometimes. So I think having a car, you can see a little bit of an issue I had there, having a track that I understood and a car that wasn't too horrible made that a little bit nicer than maybe Kapil was hoping for, or maybe he was just trying to be slightly gentle, which isn't too bad. Why'd you wave your arms like that at the driver? It makes him think, oh, because there's a crash there. Fair enough, never noticed that. I should probably be paying more attention. Quite a nice little thing, actually, isn't it, having a previously crashed competitor there? I quite like that. So as you can see, the attempts look generally quite smooth. There are a couple of little issues bouncing off walls. A couple of bits I definitely did worse than the previous attempt that you would have seen. But not too bad. That corner there I thought went very nice. That's that 2 right before we come out to the last section. I thought that bit went quite nice. I was happy with that. Anyway, thank you as always to Professor Kapil for his ongoing patience and ongoing help with my driving improvement school. I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. Really, really am. Hope you guys are as well. If you are, do click the like button. That is massive. Oh, this is where I started talking. And... oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Was it here? Oh, there it is. I missed the gear. That's what I did. I didn't hit the wall and missed the gear. And then immediately spun it as we hit the finish post. Brilliant. Hope you're enjoying this. Still, if you are, do click the like button. That is massively appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Questions and comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. I am streaming on Wednesdays at 6 PM UK time. We have just finished off Remnant from the Ashes, so it'll be a new series starting this week. I'm just not too sure what it's going to be. I was thinking about doing Asgard's Wrath, but then I thought standing up for 5 hours is going to be horrible, and I don't know if it'll work very well sitting down, so that might not be on the table. So there's a couple of other suggestions. What I thought I might do actually is ignore all of your suggestions and actually do a small series on Farming Simulator 19, because that came second in the voting we had previously when we went for actually Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And they've got a new expansion coming out on Tuesday as well, so it might be quite timely for that. So might be doing that. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see, if you have any other suggestions. Otherwise, I will see you next time in Dirt Rally 2.0 Improvement School with Professor Kapil. And as always, thank you very much for joining me.